section, so you guys don't have to do anything. So I guess there's a couple things that you should know about me first. First, meditation makes me nervous, which kind of makes it hard to be in LA, but I do. There's a couple of reasons for that, and I think it starts with my parents, as everything does. My dad used to tell me no good deed goes unpunished. Yeah, I know, it's not really a joke, but it affects you. My mom would often tell me the neighbors were laughing at me. That was helpful. I'd come home from school and I'd be like, anybody call? She's like, no one likes you, Kate. You think I'm making this shit up, but this is all real. Which is probably why I have trouble with intimacy. So I took my trouble with intimacy and I moved from Kentucky to LA. And that worked pretty well. So I live here now. And you mentioned Dr. Kevorkian. I actually had a run-in with a Dr. Kevorkian not too long ago. This also is not a joke. Because of the way my parents talk to me, I tend to get, I don't know, nervous and depressed and unhappy. And one day, one day I was like, you know, I really don't want to be alive anymore. So I found a clinic. And I went to the clinic. No lie, they had me see Dr. Kevorkian.
Whoa.
That is the total truth. I was like, really? The one time I want something, this is the only thing I'm ever going to get. So I work at Starbucks now. I work at Starbucks in Brentwood. I also live in Brentwood. This is a very strange place. When I moved to Brentwood, I had money. I no longer do. Which is why I work at Starbucks. I've learned one thing. There's no difference between the really, really rich folks and the crazy homeless people. These fuckers are exactly the same. I mean, it's like, the only difference sometimes is the smell. So, anyway, that's about all I have to say about Starbucks. I will tell you about the apartment building I live in Brentwood, though. It's an oddly pink building. That's true, too. And in this pink building, I have a neighbor named Janet. Janet doesn't have any teeth. Well, Janet has teeth sometimes. But she'll take them out when they're bothering her, I guess. Janet panhandles. Seriously. If you're ever on Wilshire and Federal and there's a woman without her teeth and long brown hair, that's my neighbor. She'll come up to my door sometimes in the middle of the night and ask me for money. The first time I gave it to her, she's like, my brother's sick. Now, her brother has issues. To say it, I guess the political correct term is he's physically disabled. He has trouble walking. She comes up and I need money for his meds. Okay, here's 20 bucks. There are no meds that cost 20 bucks. Not the legal ones. So after that, she keeps hitting me up for money, but I only did it the one time because I was like, you know, fuck you. There's only so much I can handle. But the interesting thing about her and her brother is they don't have a car. They don't have any mode of transportation except he's got one of those rascal scooters. She will sit on his lap and they will go zooming down Barrington and will swing by the Starbucks and fucking wave at me while I'm standing. quietly so nobody else notices. My other neighbor stalks me. And I use the stalking loosely in that she's never like followed me outside of the building, but she goes around the entire perimeter with me. I'll be walking my dog at 7:30 in the morning. I'm on my phone. Do you want a coffee? No. I did have coffee with her one time. And this chick, she's 60. She dresses like a 16-year-old wannabe whore. And in some strange way, I guess it works for her. Her boyfriend, who's also probably in his 60s, dresses like, you know, a 16-year-old cholo. So they're an interesting couple walking through the building. She didn't talk to me anymore though because I've ignored her. The one time we went, she told me we had coffee. She was telling me about her back problems, and she had apparently had huge breast implants at one time. Her name was, yeah. Anyway, I was going to tell you a joke about her name, but I told you her name was something else, so now I'm just going to let it go. We'll skip that part. So anyhow. See, I'm thinking on my seat. I caught my mistake. So anyhow, so she was telling me about her breast implants that were apparently very huge. And she's since had them reduced once her husband left her. I guess she didn't need the tits anymore. But apparently still had back problems because of that. And she also told me how he took away the Jaguar keys when they got divorced. And I was like, here, you'll never see these again. And that she's on disability, and her boyfriend, who she's been in love with, can't marry her because he's living with this guy. Okay? But it's not a good time for him to leave the guy yet. So they're not going to get married right yet, but they will eventually. I'm going, honey, yeah, maybe a couple of things you want to pay attention to. Anyway, so I walked by her in the laundry room the other day. This is where I think I'm a bad person. And I could hear her in there moaning and groaning and trying to get the laundry out because her back hurt. Anybody else in the world, you know me, I would have fucking stopped. I would have said, can I help you? What do you need? I pretended like I was on my cell phone and ran by her. And the thing is, I didn't feel bad about it. So anyway. So that's me, that's my life, and that's my time.